to move my... Thanks, Mike.
Bruh.
Is this live?
It's live.
Mate. What we got going on, mate? Can you hear us? I don't even know what's happening.
Oh my god, look at that chat. Look at the chat explosion. Can you guys hear us? They said mate, so I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Alright. They hear, holy shizzle, man. This thing is blowing up. How do you slow it down? Oh my god, it's out of control.
There you go. There you go. I don't even know what to do. We can't.
Dude, I can't do a Q&A with it exploding this hardcore. The bomb.
I don't.
Go with that thing.
Alright, I know there's a way that you can slow the chat down, but I don't know how to do it. Can someone... We can't read the chat here, so post something on Facebook if you know how to do it. Enable slow mode.
Yeah, mate, there you go. Slow mode. Alright, this is slow mode. It's fucking killing it. Slow mode is on. Alright. What kind of questions do you guys have?
Scroll up. Have you seen the fucking rate that people...
This is slow mode?
It was a lot slower than it was before.
Yeah, but it's still gnarly. I was eating an Oreo.
Are you going to show... I'm in America. I'm staying at Steele's place right
Alright.
now.
This is intense.
Should we get people to
This,
hit us up on Instagram?
why don't you hit
or
up that? So I have a
Twitter?
thing on
Twitter?
No, fuck Twitter. What the hell is
Well,
that?
it's a good way of people just hashtagging questions for you.
No, I don't know. I guess on Facebook there is a thing on my personal Facebook about
This stream.
this stream. Well, fuck, I don't know if anybody can see that. I guess they can.
where do you think this through?
This is not good. Alright, I'm going to make this a situation right now. Alright, so on my, not YouTube, on my Facebook, Mr. Steele FPV, I have like a group page, or not a group, but like a fan page, and I'm going to put in questions on there. Like I'm going to put a thing out that says, hey, like this is where you would put in questions. And yeah, so I'm putting that there now. If you have any questions for the live stream on YouTube.
Your
I got it right here.
Yeah, but if you get the link to your Facebook from here, and then we can just drop it in the description of the video.
Jesus Christ, this is all happening so quickly.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck, man.
We're clearly professional streamers, as you can tell.
I think I'm just gonna do this. Where's that live stream at? In the description right here?
Yeah, do it there. Yep.
Alright.
And do it there as well.
Is it gonna stay there?
Yeah.
That's in there now.
So that's there. Let me...
This has not gone well. I do see that message, Zion Gaming, or Zion.
Yeah, we can see it. It's
it's too fast.
Yeah. People are posting like two questions every second, pretty much.
Wait, $20. What happened?
So people can donate money to you, and you can have the question stream set up on a mode where you only see questions from people that are donating. That's someone cool. like someone like PewDiePie, because he'll have 2,000-3,000 people watching him at any one time.
That's kind of.
It's literally impossible for him to read.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. I think that's probably a bit much at the moment, but.
How's that guy getting?
I don't know.
We're gonna fight Towley, one of my favorite songs.
It's fucking PewDiePie, mate.
Oh my god! Shut up.
All right. Anyways, I'm going on Facebook and I'm pasting a thing right now for the Q&A. I do have a fan page too. I was going to do it on there, but I don't know the URL for that. Alright, it's up. Boom! But in the meantime, while that is accruing, why don't we tell the people why you're here?
Okay, yeah.
And
well, why am I here? I'm here because Trappy...
Who are you?
Who am I?
Just...
Thomas.
Alright, so this is Snake.
Snake FPV. I'm going to put a link to my YouTube in there.
Oh my god, we're just taking up all the time. Here, I'll make this make noise. While he's doing that.
Snack FPV.
Snack.
So I'm here because Trappy wanted us to work together to create some videos. So those friend requests.
My friend request thing is full, so
yeah.
I'm sorry I can't accept friend requests. You can follow me on Facebook, but I can't accept like friend requests. So look at that. Holy shizzle, man. Hey, Chris Martin and I have 680 mutual friends. I might accept him.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Mate. Alright, so no one has commented. It's got 10 likes, but no one has commented any questions. But, what is that? Why is it, like, slowly filling up?
I think you donate and then you're, like, prominent in the chat for X amount of time, depending on how much you donate.
Lyndon. What does Lyndon want? Where he at? There you go. Where's the 240? It's gone. I sold it. I have an STI now, and not a sexually transmitted infection.
Dude, that's a lot of people to be watching in one go. 436 people.
All right.
We're getting 36 messages a minute, which is, if you're wondering why we can't read them all, that's why.
Not that many. PewDiePie would be able to handle this.
Yeah, but we're not.
Okay. So, anyways, why Snake? Who he is, did you put it in the description? So
my YouTube's there, but...
So Snake is this guy, Thomas, or Jay.
Thomas Power.
Or Justin.
But my real name is Justin Power, except Facebook won't let me rechange my name again, so...
So, basically, he lives in Australia. He's from Melbourne.
Yep.
Melbourne. And he flew over here to Atlanta, where I live. And he's been staying with me for the last, like, week now?
Week exactly, actually. I got here last Saturday night.
Last Saturday, yeah. So he flew in. He's been here for the last week. And we have just basically been going out and flying as much as possible. And last Wednesday, a.k.a. like 4 days ago, I wanted to buy a car. It was kind of like a last-minute decision, and I ended up buying plane tickets for both of us to fly up to Boston, Massachusetts. And we flew up there and then bought the car and then drove it home. and we took like 3 days. We took 3 days to do that. It's like 1,100 miles, and we drove from Boston to Atlanta and stopped in like New York and New Jersey and West Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina.
It was a long way.
And drove on like the Blue Ridge Parkway and all kinds of cool stuff, and did some follow footage with my new car, and it was pretty cool. So we did that. We got back on Friday evening, which was last night, unloaded all the stock parts out of the back of the car, and then today we went flying and hit up some pretty like local baller. I think they're pretty fun spots, but it was like we call it I think it's called a Club Europe. It was basically just an abandoned building. It's super secured. Like, don't go over there. The security guards have guns if you try to fly it.
Literally guns.
Literally, the guy has a handgun. He will tackle you, and you might not have a good day. I was kidding. He seemed like a really cool dude, but again, I don't know if I would go over there. I would not advise it. So, Eddie Kelsey, I bought a 2006 Subaru WRX STI in WRC blue with the gold BBS wheels, and it's got a couple things done to it, but it's really low mileage, like a one owner car basically. It has like 30,000 miles on it now. I bought it with like 28.5 and put some miles on it, and yeah. It's got exhaust, intercooler, recirc valve, and cop axis support stage 2. Basically, it makes like 305 to the wheels, and it's stock suspension. It's got mud flaps. Nothing crazy. I wanted a stock car because I don't like super modded cars, especially when you're buying used. I wanted this car because it was specifically a car that I liked when I was like 16, when I got my license in 2006. So I don't know, kind of like a weird dream car, and I finally ended up finding one that I wanted and got it. So Tucker got, what does this guy say? Oh snap, is Tucker in here? I feel like he might be. Anyways, so Snake is here. We're working on some stuff with, not really, like TBS. It is TBS related, and we're just doing some like videos together, basically about products and whatnot, and also just kind of getting to know each other, because there's some things that I would like to do as a group, and I wanted to get to know this bloke.
This guy.
I did not sell my other car. I still have the Fit, the van, and now the STI.
Crossfire, yes or no? Yeah, we did another video today. Actually, Steele did
I saw that.
We did a blind test for Steele comparing S-Bus and Crossfire protocol, and then also explained a lot more stuff about the benefits of Crossfire and how to set up the antennas and all that kind of stuff. So that video is going to be coming at some point in the next few weeks. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm not really able to edit videos, so I'm kind of just storing. I've got like 200-something gig worth of footage now. So if you want to see that, click on the link of
Snake FPV. If he gets to 20,000 subscribers tonight, I'll jam my thumb up something's butthole, mate. Oh man.
Glad you got away from Rotor Ride.
Someone wanted to see the drones on the wall. They can see the reflection. You see it on the TV. Oh mate, don't move that.
Oh no, it should be alright. You can see them in the background.
And I finally got my 100,000 subscriber plaque. Thank you, subscriber people.
Right in the middle there.
It's chilling up there, mate. Who wants a nice fluffy pillow to sleep on?
That will happen. Do you ever charge it?
No, I just run it, and it's gonna die eventually. So this goes to the ultimate Mr. Steele fan. If you want, I will brand you.
On the forehead.
On the forehead. I am currently, yes, working on motors for the 6-inch, for a 6-inch prop. I flew a 6-inch quad today for the first time in a really long time. It was pretty dope. Snake, what's happening to the proof frame, mate?
Nothing at the moment. Basically, we're so the guy I was working with doing the proof frame, who runs that company is just busy doing a lot of other work at the moment, and we need to dedicate quite a lot of time in order to make something that's going to be actually worth putting on the market and is different enough, to set it apart. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen in the future, but at the moment it's kind of all just on hold. So I'm just flying aliens at the moment because quads don't last me more than a couple of months.
Mate.
And I haven't gotten a new one for a while, so yeah.
Mate. Noelle said that I'm going to be stuck with the Aussie accent when you leave, but someone...
hang on, apparently people can't comment on your post.
Why?
I don't know why.
Because they're not friends with me or something? God
Probably.
dang it.
Can you put it in your...
I can put it on my fan page.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Alright. While he does that, I'll try and answer some other question. Are you guys going to put together a TVS squad? Will Stingy be joining you? Well, I mean, there already is a TVS squad, so it's just not something that... I guess it's part of it is going to be creating more TVS related content, because at the moment no one really does anything. Like, there is a whole bunch of pilots like myself, Steele, Banny, Tom Smith. I don't know. There's quite a few of this, but no one really gets off their ass and actually creates, consistent videos that explain anything about products or anything like that. So that's
just straight hate, mate.
That's part of what we're doing.
What's the new KISS gear? I don't know. I thought Chad spilled all that beans. You blind. Where do you get your earbuds for the Dominators? Go to teamfailsafe.com and they are for sale there.
Yeah.
They're custom made by a dude named Eric Konasty. If you want to check his YouTube channel out, it is Konasty FPV. www.youtube.com/Konasty FPV. Snake, what did you have for brekkie, mate?
What did I have? Wholemeal.
Oatmeal.
Vegan oatmeal.
Vegan. It is vegan. We went to this fucking baller restaurant and it was all vegan. Steel flies better than cardboard. I didn't see that. Can you please have my FPV goggles?
Can I please have your FPV goggles?
No. No.
Is Failsafe Gold better than RR Gold so far?
Failsafe Gold is completely worth something, which I can't say that other things that I've had that were gold related.
Well, at the moment it's worth 35 grand.
At the moment, yes. If you guys want a ukulele quad, there is one for sale for $35,000. I mean, 35K. How do you make that not sound as bad as it is? 35,000. 35,000,000,000,000,000,000,000.
35 clams.
Clams, yes, on the Team Failsafe website. So, for all those really, really less fortunate people that have 35K just lying around, yeah, if you want a freaking ukulele quad, it's up there. Tiny Whoops, I don't know about those. Bucket list place to fly. Shitty FPV. I love that name. A bucket list place to fly. Honestly, I think I've flown all of my bucket list places to fly, but until I see something good, I don't know, man. I don't know. Watch my channel. I don't talk about my subscribers. And I tell better stories. Cool. You look like Batman.
Do you still like the Horus Steel?
I have not used it.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Mate, do you know how to do a puzzle?
It's the wrong shape for pinching. It just doesn't feel right. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I prefer the Uranus shape, so no. Is it pretty much the same for you, right?
Yeah. And I don't like the internal battery thing, so.
Yep.
Hey, so here are some questions that are on my fan page. So I did put a thing on the fan page, Mr. Steele Fan, so it's Facebook.com/Mr. Steele Fan with no dot, just MrSteelefan. So here's one from Charles Bryce Linney. He said, thank you Rough timeline on the 6-incher quad motors ever send. Could we ever send you a quad? So 6-inch motors. I don't know. I mean, I've been working on motors for a while now. I would guess something will be out before the end of the year, but I'm not gonna hold that as like a solid thing. I don't know. So I would just count on something before January of 2018. Artie Alder, you guys do. You dudes want to rip the King and Queen building tomorrow morning?
What is the King and Queen building?
That's no, I don't really want. I want to, but I don't. There's like There's these buildings that have like a king and queen crown on the top of them,
Right.
like white. I don't know.
Why would you not want to fly it?
Because I don't want to get up early.
Oh, okay.
But you can go if you want.
I'm up for going, but I have no mode of transport unless I'm with him. So come pick me up, and I'll go.
Byron Hamline, what do you do with all the space in the alien frame? So much space in the back above the FC. I leave that space there for good measure. I store all of the air inside of that space because if you don't store air in that space, it will cause yaw adverse effects. Not too terribly, but if you have something blocking the edge of the propeller, then it can cause yaw problems. So lower deck quads can fly better because they have lower center of gravity, but you also introduce other side effects. So it's like taking one drug to cure another drug to cure another drug to cure a problem that you had, but now you have 35 problems because you took 3 drugs to cure one problem. So that's kind of why I don't really care for the lower deck stuff. But again, it depends on how it's designed. It can be done well, and it can also be done poorly. Let's see here. This is Chris Rincones. Rincones? How are you guys liking the new KISS gear so far? To be perfectly honest, I am still loving the old KISS gear because the firmware for the newest KISS prototype stuff that I'm flying, it's like super beta stuff, and it just feels a little bit different to what I'm used to. So until like what I really want, usually it's like every third beta firmware when it gets really like I really change. So I'm waiting. It's on the second beta right now, and the third one will be out soon. So,
but if you know anything about KISS, like the current hardware, the KISS 24s and the current FC hasn't changed for like what 18 months or something like that.
Yeah, I actually flew a quad today that was a year old, and I liked how it flew better than my current quads.
But it's been iterated on like firmware wise a lot of times, and I feel like at the moment we're starting to get to the peak of the actual hardware ability of the current stuff, but the new stuff, it's right at the start of it. So at the moment, if you're testing it, you're not really going to see much of an advantage, but there's massive headroom for them to do more stuff in future. So
Michael L. Perry, Mr. Steele, bought TBS 800 mW 5-volt transmitter, and it did not work with my quad. Any suggestions, or do you have to hack it? I did not make the mistake and put more than 5.5 volts into it. I don't know how to answer that question, Michael.
What was the question?
Sorry. It's basically, he said he has an 800 milliwatt 5-volt transmitter, and it didn't work. And I don't have a lot of information to go on, so I can't really estimate what happened. Some of them, I've had probably 1 out of 50 have just been dead. When I get them, they don't turn on. So if it didn't turn on, then maybe it was just a DOA, but I don't know.
Just contact TBS support. They're actually
extreme.
Like Trappy gets the shits if people don't contact support when they've got an issue, because they'll basically sort it out straight away.
Yeah. This is from Ray Weiss. What size battery do you normally run, and what website could you purchase them from? So I always run a 1300, and the ones that I've been flying for the last, I'd say, 3.5 months are the 100C Adrenaline series with underpowers, and they have those on thunderpower.com, and they actually have a special rebranded one that is essentially identical to the 100C Thunderpower that's currently out, except I just wanted to have a brick picture on it, so it looks like an actual brick, like brick and mortar brick, and it's not any more money or anything, but it is branded as Mr. Steele's brick series because I think it's just funny. It is basically a power brick. No, they're on the ground, I think, in here.
Oh, they're on the, yeah.
They're on the ground right there. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been using. And I've also used the Mr. Steele Mustache Edition, which is the 80C version of that same battery, just it's older. But, you know, I fly for Thunder Power. I really like their batteries. And that's just what I've been using for probably 7 to 8, well, more than that. I would say almost a year now. So it's right there. Right next to the yoga mat, bro.
Yeah.
No, on the ground. Or is it not? It might be up. It might be in there room.
Yep. It's just
All right.
a battery.
So, technical question: what causes the new Unify HV not to go into settings menu when you hold down the button for 3 seconds? I honestly don't know, but I didn't know that it would go into the settings menu for if you held it down for 3 seconds. Typically, you have to hold it down for 20 seconds to unlock it. I don't know.
I think he just means like changing, cycling through. If it's not doing that, well, it should be doing that. So
it may be broken. Maybe, I don't know. Connor King, will you ever make a flight video with a 3-inch quad or under? I've made like little tiny edits with like tiny whoops and stuff. Usually they're not like edits. It's usually just a raw flight for me flying around a house or something. But I don't know if I will be making any more. Definitely, if I do, it will be a tiny whoop sized quad, and it won't be a 2-inch or a 3-inch or a 4-inch. Just because personally I think a 3-inch quad flies amazing, but you can't carry a GoPro, and I don't really have fun if I can't carry a GoPro because a lot of what I do is creating content, and if I can't create content, then it's not really worth me to fly it.
Yeah.
So
having said that, I've got a 3-inch setup at home that I built to run a run cam's, what is it? The split. But it's pretty much unflyable because the latency on the split is terrible. But if somebody comes up with like an iterated version of that that's actually decent, then I think it'd be a pretty cool thing.
Pretty cool, mate. Let's see. Here is another one. Are you leaving the STI stock? It is not currently stock, but it's very close. It has exhaust, intercooler, recirc valve, stuff like that. Very, very light bolt-ons. I'm probably gonna leave it around 300 wheel and call it a day, and maybe just do suspension mods and little tiny exterior things here and there, like 0405 taillights. Where do you fly in Melbourne, Snake?
Well, at the moment, because when I'm in Melbourne, I'm working pretty much non-stop. I fly when I can in a place called Police Paddocks, which is in Rowville, sort of on the outer edge of Melbourne, near Dandenong. I go to other cool places if I can, but it just depends how much time I have. That's probably the place I fly the most packs at the moment.
Mate, how long until I finish the van? So the van is 99% finished right now. I'm waiting on a sink that I've been waiting on for 4 weeks now to come in the mail. It'll be here on Tuesday, and then I leave for Korea on Wednesday, so it's going to have to wait until I get back from Korea early October. And then I'm going to Flight Fest in early November. And then I go to Flight Fest like November 3rd. So it probably won't get done until like mid-November. And then honestly, it's too cold at that point in time. So I'm having to push my nationwide tour until spring, unless I just drive southernly, like stay below Kansas and go like out west to California, San Diego, maybe up to like San Francisco at probably the most north for now, and then I'll end up driving back and staying here for the winter. But yeah, the van stuff is going to be ready really, really well and like 100% psyched, going everywhere in the spring of 2018. Josh, that was from Tim Madden, by the way. Josh Groves, when your frame going to be available for purchase again? It's sold out everywhere, and I go online. Thanks. So it should be in for sale. I think, to be honest, Rotor Ride actually has a shipment coming in, so it'll be in stock for a very short period of time on there because they only have limited stock, and then they're not allowed to sell my frames or any of my branded products after that moment that those sell out, because I just see Rotor Ride as a competition to what I'm currently working on, which is something that I can't talk about, but it is a business related to FPV. That's pretty much all I can tell you.
But it's not a direct competitor.
It
to
is
Rotor.
definitely
It's not like
not.
we're not creating a
We're
new
not
Rotor
doing
show or anything like that.
Yeah, we're not doing a YouTube channel where it's like, hey, we're gonna basically do Rotor Riot. No, this is a very different business model, a very different content creation, and I don't know. I think you guys will really like it. I just don't really want to talk about it. I think it will be announced at the end of this month, and I have some other cool stuff that will be announced at Flight Fest South. I have a lot of really cool collaboration going on with flight tests, so keep your ear open for that stuff. Either on Flight Test channel, probably doing a joint thing where it's like a launch, and then we'll talk about it on Flight Test channel. So let's see. So this is from Carolina Speedruns. He says, Steele, do you think that flying freestyle would hurt me this year, this coming year racing? I don't think at all. I think if anything, freestyle will help you become a better pilot. But I do think if you specifically focus on freestyle and you want to be a racer, it would hurt you. But if you're doing both at the same time, you're still training and you're flying freestyle, it can only help you, I think. Van life hasn't happened yet, Dan Hill. It will happen very soon. Frank Campbell. I need one of you ready to fly aliens. Are you building some more? I am not building some more personally, but there is something that I'm working out in the future. So keep your eyes open. There will be something really cool coming out shortly. I can't give you a window on that, but it will be very shortly. I would say before November. Before the end of November. Stephen Raleigh, not a question, but thank you for showing me into this hobby. You're welcome, man. What do you got? You do some.
Any chance you can do any wing videos? Well, you've got some wings.
I do. I have two wings.
But it's a bit more of an effort to just pull one of them out.
Yeah, the thing with wings, like the thing with planes and helicopters in general compared to a quadcopter is you have to basically set out like a day to go do that stuff. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to fly, and like take off your balcony and fly. I mean, yeah, I could launch a wing off of my balcony, but I'm not landing it. I'd freaking crash landed in the pool down here and call it a day. So I don't know. Wings are a little bit more, you got to have a little bit more open area, and quad's just super simple. It's like, I don't know, it's like soccer almost. You can go out and play soccer anywhere, an open field, anything. Like in your front yard, you can be juggling or doing whatever. Where like mountain biking, if you go to an open field, that's boring. You need to go somewhere to mountain bike. Yeah, I think so.
I'd like to do some wing stuff. I've never flown one, but I want to get my hands on a decent wing setup because I want to do some stuff that's gonna push Crossfire a lot more to its limit. And like Michael Webb FPV, he lives up on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and he's got massive space for us to go and rip around there. So,
your thoughts on the ibis or a bird?
This shit is coming out, that guy.
Shit is coming out.
Fuck those guys.
Dizzy, I don't know of the comment because I don't follow anything that man does because it's irrelevant to basically everything that I'm doing. So I don't know. I don't want to deal with his drama, so I just basically block him out of everything.
Your Kiss P2B, someone's asking if Mike Bates is asking if there's any sort of GUI in the works in order to.
You're talking about like settings. Being able to throw. Yeah, I don't think so. You're talking about like an app or something, like a Google Chrome app where you can go in there and like.
I guess so, yeah.
Isn't that how that works? Like MinimOSD, I feel like has a program. How do you?
I've only ever seen it like sort of like CLI command type arrangement.
I swear
but I've never played with it.
I swear there's a GUI out there that allows you to like grab things and move them around. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that already exists, but maybe not specifically for my PDB. I mean, basically the PDB is a MinimOSD integrated into some other circuitry like cascading regulators and just rerouting traces from the ESC wires to the flight controller. So it shouldn't be any different than Minim. But again, I haven't changed it because I just what I designed it for is specifically to replace the PMP50 because I thought that was the only amount of OSD that you would ever need: battery voltage, current consumption, and a current sensor, so and a microphone, and those things are on the PDB, obviously. So go ahead.
Now that you're the proud owner of an STI, are you
Mate.
going to become a vape douche?
A vape kadoosh, mate. Well, no,
Probably not.
no.
What is the point of Crossfire when video reception is so limiting?
To be quite honest, this is a good question because 5.8 video used to be really, really shitty. Sorry, I'm gonna get demonetized. It used to be really, really.
Oh, we said cunt before, so
Oh,
you're right.
cunt. 5.8 video used to be really bad versus 2.4 control used to be okay as far as distance is concerned. So when you flew, like 2.4 was always able to outperform the 5.8 video. But since 5.8 video has become like the standard and it's not really going anywhere, the only way to get it better in reception is to increase receiver your sensitivity and increase power of the transmission, and also changing antennas, like having higher gain antennas, higher quality antennas. All of this stuff has led to where 5.8 is today, which is a very, very usable frequency for a lot of things. And honestly, if you were to talk to me about whether I would use 1.3, 2.4, or 5.8 for video on anything, 5.8 is like the go-to frequency. One, it plays together really nicely with everything else. Two, it also has a lot of channels, a lot of bandwidth compared to 2.4 and 1.3. But it has also a lot more integration and advancements versus those other frequencies, like the transmitters and stuff. The only people doing 2.4 transmitters are like TBS, and the only people doing 1.3 transmitters are some random company that makes little like nuggets. I don't know what they are, but they turn into fireballs.
Yeah.
You get like a 1.3 transmitter that's 2 watts. But
Yeah.
basically, 5.8 works really, really well, a lot better than most people think, and it's actually outperforms your 2.4 radio link. So Crossfire essentially bridges the gap and brings back onto the table that your radio link should outperform your video by a lot,
Yeah.
not just a little bit.
The thing is, with your control link, either works or it doesn't. When you get a failsafe, it's like gone. But with video, you can test the limits a lot more because it's more progressive. It starts to get a little bit worse and a little bit worse and a little bit worse. So if you know that your control link is always going to outdo your video link, you can just fly to the limits when it starts to get crackly and then make your decision about when you want to turn back. But it's a lot easier to manage than just flying around thinking maybe it's going to failsafe, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the benefits of Crossfire, I guess.
Yeah, so it's not like where people think you like, hey, this is the range for 5.8 and this is the range for Crossfire. Well, you got to think about it like the range of 2.4 is this and the range of 5.8 is that, but 2.4 has a specific realm where that range is that good, and 5.8 has a realm where it's that good. So it's very rare that you get 5.8 and 2.4 to be the same, because you might be somewhere where the video is bad, or you might be somewhere where there's a lot of noise on 2.4. Luckily, 2.4 on ISN bands has a lot of bandwidth to hop between 2.4 gigahertz and 2.5 gigahertz. So when you're dealing with something like in a really gnarly location, say for instance, if you're flying downtown Las Vegas, Crossfire would not be my go-to choice. Not necessarily saying that I have flown downtown Vegas, but I know that from experience that 433 and 900 megahertz are extremely noisy there. So if I were to fly somewhere like that, I would run 2.4. There's a shitload of 2.4 Wi-Fi routers, and there's a shitload of 5.8 Wi-Fi routers, but for best experience, 2.4 has a larger area to hop between 2.4 gigahertz and 2.5 gigahertz. So yeah, I don't know. 2.4 has its benefits. 900 has its benefits. For the most case, 2.4 is always going to be better because it has a larger spot to hop on. But like I said, I would prefer to have the range of 900 and also the lower latency. That's another side, like another benefit of running 900 megahertz. Not necessarily because of the frequency, but because of Crossfire as a faster protocol. So hopefully that was a lot of information that someone understood a slight amount. Anyways, next.
Yes.
Mate, someone donated $5. What does this man have to say? It's the Batman dude. Where's the clitoris? What's a labia? I'm gonna get demonetized. Go to my channel and find out, dude.
Stu can stop donating and just trying to promote his channel, I think.
It's okay.
Prove
it.
Keep the van videos coming. Great job.
Thank you very much. Who was that from?
Max Emiliano Fernandez.
Dang, girl. Hey, what up? I have more van videos coming. I've been kind of lazy as far as videos are concerned.
As far as bucket list places to fly, do you have any interest in flying landmarks like the Washington Monument, pyramids? Definitely pyramids.
I've already talked about going to the pyramids.
With permission. If you were able to get permission.
If I was able to get permission, the first place that I would want to fly is El Cap in Yosemite Valley in California. Specifically because it has a lot of underlying meaning to me as being one of like the kind of the ground places of rock climbing. Like, I don't know, like rock climbing was kind of born in Yosemite Valley, like modern rock climbing anyways. So I don't know. To me, El Cap is very significant and I would love to dive it. It is also 3,000 feet of vertical rock. That is just epic. So I don't know. That would be something that I want to go to. I really want to sticker bomb the Sphinx. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I want it badly. I would love to dive a pyramid and just flying near the pyramids of Giza. It doesn't have to be diving down the pyramids, but flying in the general area would be really cool. I mean, even if you see phantom footage from there, it just looks epic because the desert is so flat, and then you have these just gnarly things poking out.
Yeah.
Mate.
Are you going to hit every state once you start your tour?
Who's that from?
That's from Stacey Abshire.
Abshire. I probably won't hit every state. I would really like to hit every state because that's kind of something that just appeals to me. Like, I would like to say that I've been to every single state in the United States. But I would really like to hit major cities, at least one in every state. Some cities will, or some states will have more than one significant city. Like California, for instance, I'll hit San Diego, San Francisco, LA, and then I don't know, Northern California. I'm sure it's Mount Shasta. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things in California that I would like to hit. But as far as like major cities in every state, I can't see myself going to, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to single out a city because I haven't been there. And honestly, the northeastern United States is like a blur to me. I have no idea. When I was up there, I was like, wait, what state are we in? I don't know. Pennsylvania? Are we in New Jersey? Are we in New York? Are we in Rhode Island? Are we in Maine? Like, I don't know what's going on. So all of that, it seems like that could all be hit in one big kind of swoop. I could hit like 20 states in a day. Not really, but very quickly.
Michael L. Perry has just made a comment regarding the TVS, the VTX. Just have a look into exactly how it needs to be wired up. You pretty much, unless you've got all TVS equipment, the expectation is that you're going to cut and solder some of the wires at some point. So yeah, just have a look into how it needs to be hooked up.
There's a guy for you, Jimmy Stevens. Where did you get the name Snake, or why Snake?
Question. It originated from me having an interest in playing Metal Gear Solid, and that's the name that I took into playing like online gaming, and then that was just the name that I just adopted when I started flying FPV. Obviously, I didn't realize that, I don't know, my channel was going to get bigger than just my circle of friends that I flew with, but
yeah,
that's where it came from.
Kind of like to understand where Snake, like his name used to be Old Snake, and he used to comment on my videos when I had like 300 subscribers, and John and I used to think he was like this really old crusty dude. We had no idea where you were from, but we thought you were over 60. And you were ripping. He was ripping. So anyways,
who is this guy?
We've known Snacks FPV for a long time. Dang, shitty FPV. I have a waterproof quad, but it sinks.
Yeah, a friend of mine's made a waterproof quad as well, and he looked into how much stuff you'd have to put on it to make it float, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, it's not really feasible to make it float, basically.
Mustang.
Maximiliano Fernandez wants to know if we can do setup info on Betaflight. Unfortunately, neither of us fly Betaflight.
Yeah, I think Kevin is probably your best bet on that
Yeah.
stuff. If you want, I don't know if you've heard it. You probably have Stinger Swarm. His name's Kevin. He is another FPV pilot that lives in Atlanta that we hang out with a lot, and he is a Betaflight master. So if you have any Betaflight questions, I would hit him up on his channel. If you have any KISS questions, typically I am good for answering questions like that, but I try to do videos about it because I just don't have a lot of time to sit and like, what's your favorite video game, Snake? To sit and like answer very technical KISS related questions. And for me, honestly, everything just usually works. And I don't have any super weird technical problems with KISS, so it's kind of hard for me to know. There's a lot of really helpful people on like Flyduino Facebook chat or Facebook groups, so you can just ask questions there, and they'll probably get back to you a lot quicker than I will be able to. What's your favorite video game?
Metal Gear Solid 1.
Mate.
The PS1 one.
KISS or Raceflight? Well, I'm going to have to go with KISS because that's what I fly. Yeah, I don't know. That's the answer to that question.
Jordan Kamersky. Sorry if I ruined your name.
You're
What is
fine.
your honest thoughts on the Chameleon frame?
Honest thoughts. Well, to be honest, I haven't flown one. So I can't give you 100% definitive information on it, but I can give you my biased opinion on what it is versus what an alien is. And I mean, since the beginning, Armaton and Impulse have kind of had butted heads. And I mean, I knew about Armaton when I flew Blackout stuff or Armaton, whatever, because of my friend Sean Harlan that used to make his own frames. He had the Havoc, which was like a frame that nobody knows about now, but it looked like an AT Walker thing from Star Wars. And anyways, Armaton or whatever, they had frames back in the day, like 3 or 4 years ago, or 3 years ago now. And I don't know, I like the idea of a lower profile alien that doesn't have weird standoff situations to hold the camera, because that is the one weak spot. If you're doing a drop deck alien, you're going to have a weak camera spot because you've now split up 2 solid pieces of carbon, or 1 solid piece of carbon and dropped it into a 2-piece situation, and that lower, but basically the bottom plate is now a weak spot because the top plate is not one solid rigid piece. It's like having a big piece of wood versus having 2 little pieces of wood held together with screws. You're going to be able to break the screws versus that one larger piece of wood. So it gets a little bit weaker when you do stuff like that. So the idea of doing the Chameleon, where you have an aluminum piece, aluminum is light, however aluminum usually only bends 1 time and then it breaks. So there is that issue. Now I have seen a lot of chameleons from when I go places, and people think I hate chameleons because I fly Impulse, which is not true. But I also don't think that I think that the alien is a better designed frame, but at the same time, design is a very subjective thing. So to me, like, I think the WRX STI is like my favorite car. The only other car I'd rather have is like a GT3 RS. But to someone else, they might say, "Oh, I hate STIs. I want an Evo because it's designed better." It's like a PlayStation. Everyone has their own personal preference. I particularly think that the Alien is a very sexy-looking aircraft versus where other people think the Chameleon is a very cool-looking aircraft. But I can tell you the downsides versus the Alien versus the Chameleon. The Alien has detachable arms, which not only enables you to take an arm off if you break an arm, but it also gives the frame more rigidity. If you have a Chameleon, you break an arm, which is pretty typical because it is one solid unit, and it has more flex, and it can break. If you break an arm, you have to replace an entire bottom plate, which, yes, they have a freaking full lifetime warranty, but it
doesn't help you when you're out in the field.
It doesn't help you when you snap your frame in the field, or if you're like out flying with friends. Say Snake came over from Australia, brought his fleet of aliens, and he broke all of his bottom plates, and he didn't have extra bottom plates with him because they were so big that he couldn't carry them over here. Then he's not going to be in luck because he no longer has bottom plates. So that, and then the camera design to keep it short. The bottom plate I see as a flaw because it's unibody. It's not as stiff. It's not going to have the best flight characteristics versus...
They are known to have vibration issues.
So yeah, the vibrations on the bottom plate are going to cause flight characteristics, negative flight characteristics, and then also the camera plate. Once it bends, you have to bend it back. You typically need a vise to bend that back, and you don't have a vise out in the field, so you might be like looking all freaking sideways, like Hunchback of Notre Dame, flying around because you've snapped your front plate all sideways. So where was that? There was like I went on a rant, and there was someone that paid. Is there a specific reason you don't fly air mode? I don't fly air mode because I just never really liked the air mode like bounce when you hit the ground, and that was kind of a weird quirk that air mode did early on when it was being developed. And like I was one of the very first beta testers of air mode. Like Boris and I were talking directly around Christmas time 2 years ago, and I was like, dude, zero throttle needs to have higher eyes because when you drop throttle to zero, it essentially goes limp because it's looking for a stick command for that yaw arming. So the old Naze 32s used to yaw right to arm the quad, and used to yaw left to disarm the quad. So when you went to zero throttle, the quad was looking for an arming movement on the stick, so it would reduce the PIDs essentially, so that when you were at zero throttle and you were flying through the air at zero throttle, i.e. a throttle cut switch, which is what I use, the eyes and stuff were so low that the quad would kind of flop through the air. So the only way to reduce that was to increase the lower throttle position on your throttle range so that you had a little bit more RPM in the props to keep the thing stable. But air mode had an inherent problem. When you touch the ground, the P's are really high, so it freaking jumped and like went to the moon. And there were a lot of fail-safe style things where people touched the ground, and it would full throttle up into a tree. Tommy had this problem in Hawaii, and anyways, I just always used a throttle cut because of the inherent air mode problems. Now the air mode problems are fixed. There is not necessarily any more problems with that bounce and stuff like that because it kind of cancels itself out. But to me, I like to be able to arm the quad without the gyros active, which is a weird like problem. It's not a problem, but it was a weird quirk of KISS. When you armed it and you had a throttle cut switch, it would arm, but only the motors would spool and there was no active gyro. What I do with that is I arm it to test all of the motors every time I crash. Because if you arm in air mode, it'll actually have the gyro activated. And if you try to move the quad, it'll fight and it can bite your hand. Or if I don't have an air mode activated, I can essentially turn on throttle cut switch. It will then open the motors, allow them to spin without the gyro active, and I can check the tracking of the propeller. So if I have a bent propeller, I can say, hey, that one's bent. I can bend it back in the line so that I don't have to change props every single crash. So I can get away with like flying B1S props for like 10, 15 crashes because I can just say, oh, look, this one's bent, and then bend it back. So that is why I use that. I also think 2 switches is safer than 1 switch. If you accidentally bump an air mode switch and you hit the throttle or something, then the quad could take off and jack you up. So
I'm reading through the questions on Facebook here, but I'm gonna have to start selecting.
Hold on, this dude paid. Why did you fly a 6-inch frame with 5-inch props in the past? My build right now is Lumineer QAVR, whatever, FC60 Pro. So I only flew a 6-inch frame with 5-inch props because when I went to Joe Nationals 2015, Chad Nowak gave me a Impulse Alien, which was a 6-inch frame, and he had the only 5-inch in existence. Even though I wanted a 5-inch, there was no other ones in existence, so they gave me a 6-inch. Because in the beginning, Impulse thought that 6-inch was going to take over the community, like there was going to be no more 5-inch, and Chad disagreed and said, hey, make a 5-inch of this frame, it's a really cool frame. So that's how the 5-inch Alien kind of came about, is because Chad asked for a 5-inch Alien, and then him and myself made it popular over the last 2 years by being the go-to frame for both of us, not only because it was easy to build, but because it was very high quality. And yeah, I don't know, that's kind of why the Alien is where it is, and that's why the Alien is what it does. So anyways, I did that because there was only the 6-inch available, and they gave me that, and I wanted to fly 5-inch props on it. So Korea question, where in Korea will you be going? Can you give me recommendation places to fly when you get back? Can you give me... Honestly, I have no idea what's happening.
Jake Moffat.
I have no idea what's happening in Korea. I'm flying there on Wednesday. I don't know what's happening. I'm just getting there. I'm going to this event. I will be commentating, giving a speech. I have had very little time to actually sit down and designate what I'm going to do as far as other than be at this event. Literally, I fly in on the 26th, and I leave on the 30th, and
Commentating and
the
stuff,
event
you're going to be
is
quite
2 days.
busy.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go out and like fly the 49th parallel or anything. Zorro. This guy's donated like $100 and he hasn't asked one good question yet. Zorro is my best friend. Is that true? I don't know.
Question for me: was there a Webfest this year? No. I think we're thinking about doing something in the summer when the weather's a bit more consistent.
The weather.
Are you coming to North Carolina? Well, we drove through North Carolina the other day, but we were kind of in a hurry because it was
real fast.
1,200 miles in 2.5 days is a fucking long way in America. It's pretty easy in Australia, but not so much here. Is anyone, someone, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was the same person, Jared Duval asked, is anyone trying to improve battery technology? He asked earlier, I think someone asked earlier if TBS specifically was working on battery technology. Yeah, same dude. They are working on batteries, but I don't think they're anything terribly groundbreaking. Probably someone like Thunder Power is.
Honestly, I think the battery technology is not going anywhere for another year, or not another year, another like 5 years. I think lithium polymer is pretty much at its plateau. It's peaked out. There's not really anything happening. It's just kind of cruising, and I've just started to notice this earlier, but China has a very good way of making things look like they're better, and they're increasing the quality of products. So I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but typically companies will come out with a good product. It will stay stagnant for a very long period of time, and then all of a sudden a new product comes out, and it's very similar to the original product, but it's better in some way, shape, or form. Typically what they're doing is they come out with a product, and then they slowly degrade the quality of the product until it becomes a shitty product, and then they release the original product again and call it something else, and then it's good again. So I just want to let people know that that's a real thing that happens, and it has happened many times in this industry. I'm not going to call anybody out, but it happens quite a lot.
Has the QX7 Crossfire issue been resolved? I think it has, or at least there's a firmware coming that has a fix for it. But also, if you check out Stinger Swarm or Kevin's YouTube channel, he's got a video on how you can mod your QX7 so that it works fine with Crossfire.
Can you perhaps do a video of the setup in Velocidrone? My setup in Velocidrone is exactly like my PID setup on my website. So if you go to rippingballs.com, there's a bunch of information about where I've flown, what I do for a living, the background on me, and also my exact drone setup with my PIDs listed there. So if you check that out, rippingballs.com, it's all free, whatever, just check it out. And you can take that.
You literally just put your KISS.
I literally put KISS in Betaflight in Velocidrone, and it works perfectly. Now, I will say that there is some other stuff. He's talking probably about like gravity and stuff like that, so that is a little bit more convoluted, and I will have to put a link to that somewhere. I don't know where yet. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll try to get to that in the next day or so, where I go on Velocidrone, and I will take a picture of my settings, I guess you could say. But yeah, basically the 3 things that you have to know about that is there's a lot of parameters that you need to adjust quite significantly to make it feel like a real like my quad basically, which is a little bit heavier and kind of flies like a freestyle quad. But I actually haven't done the new update for Velocidrone, so I don't know how that's going to work with all the new updated stuff.
Jimmy Stevens wants to know if you're going to have me on the podcast. Apparently not. You recorded a new one this morning.
Yeah, no, he's fucked, cunt.
Yeah, got wrecked.
Cunt.
Real Anwar, could you guys...
Tyrone, I'll check it out.
What settings...
Mate.
Setting first filters, PIDs. He's asking about KISS settings on RC30. It's no different to the one before, right? Like kids and everything.
Should be the same.
Do you change the filter settings or anything?
No, it's still adaptive filtering, but I will say that if I had to choose between RC30 and RC25, I will fly RC25 all day over RC30. I don't know what, I can't put my finger on it, but like I said earlier in this podcast, or whatever this is, earlier in this live stream, when KISS comes out with a firmware that's like kind of groundbreaking, usually the very first firmware is really good, and then the third iteration of that firmware after that is good, and everything in between that is kind of meandery and like testing things out, and it doesn't feel the same. So for me, RC25 is my go-to right now. I've tried RC30, don't necessarily like the way it feels. I have talked to Felix about it, but I don't know if, like, it's really hard to put your finger on. But if I fly a quad with RC30 and I fly a quad with RC25, I'm a lot more confident in the RC25 quad, even though it probably doesn't look like it flies any different. I'm more confident in the quad that has RC25 on it. Yes, mate.
That's a funny question. We'll get to it.
All right.
Kent Bell asked, you flew a 6-inch quad lately. Was it a 6-inch alien or was it a butter quad? Isn't it the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it butter quad a 5-inch?
It is a 5-inch body on a 6-inch alien, but it also doesn't have gold hardware. I don't really know what a butter quad is. A butter quad is essentially a 6-inch alien. So
yeah, it's a 5.6 alien that's sold by Redrite, basically.
Yeah, it's a rebranded.
There's nothing special about it. It's just an alien. Joey Kramer at Steele, do you use lens inserts from Spectacles West?
I have in the past. More recently, I put my goggles up on my head a lot, and when you have diopters, the diopters dig into the top of your forehead, and I just took my diopters out because I'm actually not that blind. I wear glasses all the time, but I can see very well up close, but I can't see more than like 250 yards away as far as reading like normally sized font from like 250 yards away, like a small font on a billboard. I won't be able to read it. So anyways, I don't use them anymore because of that reason. I will say it did help, but the added cleaning you have to do, because it is like it's like a poly glass, whatever, and it's just a little bit harder to clean than like the lenses, and also when you put it up on your head, it digs into your forehead. So if you have a serious problem seeing, I would recommend it. But for people that just have minor issues, like they just need some reading glasses or something, I don't know if it's that big of a benefit. But dealing with Michael is a really cool dude. He'll help you out if you have any problems, and you really do need to have prescription diopters, and I think that's the guy to go to.
Joey Steele says, next time you come to North Carolina, let's fly.
All right, I'm down for that. Hold on, we got 2 guys here.
Okay.
What's the future of FPV? Just kidding. Bagels channel. Jesus Christ, that guy. What can I get a Team Failsafe? How can I get a Team Failsafe sticker? I bought a shirt from the website but couldn't find the stickers. That is a good question. I thought there were stickers on the site, but if there are not, then I will ask Eric to put them up if he has any. We have a couple stickers these days. I don't know if he has enough to sell, but I will ask him. So Eric is the one that runs that website. So
someone did ask earlier here, but I've seen the question
Here a couple of times about those ND filters. Are they ever coming in? What's the story?
So the ND filter, the one. So for the people that don't know what we're talking about, there's these little stick-on pieces of tempered glass that go on the GoPro Session, and they also go on the back of the GoPro Hero 4 Silver. And essentially, it's a little protection in case you hit something. It will break the tempered glass. You peel it off, and then you put a new one on instead of scratching the original lens that's on the GoPro, so that you have to take the whole thing off. There is some circumstances where it is really bright out, and it can cause serious jello if you're running in 60 frames per second, especially on a quad that has slight vibrations, much less a quad that has gnarly vibrations. So the idea was to come out with an ND filter that was basically glass that was tinted to ND4, ND8, ND16, and we're going to stick that on front of the GoPro. I was dealing with multiple companies for multiple months back and forth trying to get this done, and it was very convoluted as to how the information was getting lost and just not translated correctly. And then Chad, Monsieur Noack, decided that he wanted to talk about that idea as if it was his. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that's ever thought of that idea, but I had been working on it for like 3 months at this time, and it kind of pissed me off. So I got a piece of car tent, which I don't know if some people have seen in the Rotor Ride episode where Drew talks about he put car tent on the quad and he calls it a mod that Rotor Ride's going to do. It's bullshit. It was essentially me seeing that Chad talked about the fact that he was doing those indie filters, which was a lie because that was a project I was working on. And then I went to Eric and said, "Hey, Eric, like, can I get some prototypes or something from the dude that you're working with?" Because I was also having Eric work with a dude. Anyways, Eric said, "Fuck this," and went to the store, bought some freaking tent, and we put tent on the front of the GoPro. He took a picture of it in his hand, sent it to me, and I said, "Hey, look at these, they're coming out." So I haven't been working on that project since then because I did it specifically to bring Chad to a boiling point so that I could talk to him about the problems that we had, and then it ended up not doing anything, and then I ended up leaving Rotor Riot because he gave me an ultimatum that he wouldn't work with Rotor Riot unless I left, and I said, "Fuck you," and then it was essentially this whole burning out and nonsense. So yeah, I haven't worked on it. I don't think it will be forgotten, and I know a lot of people are asking about it, so I can try to push forward with that, but I have not been working.
We're working on a lot of things at the moment.
There is a lot of shit in the pot right now.
Sam Culper, he's got 2 questions. One, well, ask the sort of joke question first.
Mate.
Do you like Drew Camden, or are you just being a nice guy?
I actually do like Drew. I don't like him as a competitor, i.e. working with Rotor Riot, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not, like, I don't have any problems with the guy. So, yeah. No, I like Drew.
Is there a V2 Steele motor coming?
There is a V2 Steele motor coming. I've been working on it for 10 months now, and it's close. Again, I haven't told you guys I was working on a new motor for the 6-inch stuff, and Eric is also doing some stuff with 6-inch quads. And the motors will both be different for different purposes. Like maybe one is more efficient, one is more for performance. And also the V2 Mr. Steele motor it's in the works very, very deep.
Yeah.
And it should be done very soon. Yeah, like, again, before the end of the year.
Lower KV steel motors? Is that?
That's what I'm talking about. When I talk about 6-inch,
sorry.
we're talking about lower KV Mr. Steele motors.
Frank Campbell has asked 3 or 4 times now, do you have any plans to come to Canada in the van?
I don't see why not. Vanada, bruh.
Wow. Cole, I'm just going to say Cole, I apologize, I can't pronounce your last name. Will you guys ever move to a digital FPV system like Connex?
Mate, no. Until digital replicates analog breakup, i.e. it becomes more gradually lost instead of a black screen or a fake static screen, I will not go to digital. I don't think digital is out of the question, but until it becomes on the level of gradually losing signal like an analog signal, I don't think it's ever going to get anywhere. So it might have a better quality, might have a better wide dynamic range, but at the end of the day, it doesn't gradually get worse, and you can't push it to its limits because you don't know where its limits are. It's just based on the noise floor and based on the output performance of that particular transmitter and the receiving the receiving sensitivity. So go ahead. Get Snake on the podcast. Sorry, I already did the podcast for Monday, and Snake wasn't on it. You were on it. I think I yelled at you once.
Yeah, you yelled at me in the background. Yeah. What do we got here?
Mate.
Rami El Sawa. Demonetization. Are you affected by it?
I have not been demonetized whatsoever with anything on YouTube, fortunately. I did get a random demonetization of a van video from a couple days ago, but I haven't investigated why. It could have been because there was a song on there that I used that was maybe monetized, but I haven't checked into it. Maybe it's because I cussed, or maybe it's because Michael cussed. I don't know.
So if you swear in any video, then demonetized.
Cunt. I don't know. I don't think cunt is
Uh,
considered a bad word here in the United States. I mean, it is a bad word, but I don't think it's considered
Mate, it's
a
fucking brutal. Are
swear
you
word.
serious?
In the U.S.?
Well, in Australia,
Oh.
people use it because it's so offensive.
Oh. I don't know. Words don't really mean anything to me. But.
Gary Wisecup likes Team Failsafe. He listens to Team Failsafe podcast while he's riding his motorbike. And
Dang, that
he's
sounds
looking forward
dangerous.
to this next episode.
Oh, Mondays
Yeah,
is
don't
super
have like
good.
a laughing fit while you're riding your motorbike. That's
Mondays
not going to
is
go well.
super good. You're gonna cry. There's literally 30 minutes of talk about the most epic things ever. I.e., probably something to do with Seinfeld, having to do with nothing. Mate.
Maximiliano Fernandez. The mono earpiece thing, you can buy them from Team Failsafe website. They're handmade by Konasti.
Yep, $25, www.teamfailsafe.com. We'd also have a podcast, Team Failsafe Podcast. And then I have a website, www.rippingballs.com, that has a lot of information, including my full quad setup and PIDs. I don't know, just kind of throwing those out there if you guys weren't aware of those things.
We're getting close to the end.
Dang, Noelle, what's she ask?
She says, what benefits do you think the FPV community would get if there were more women involved in it?
Well, first off, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, Noelle. If there were more women involved,
well, it'll be an exponential thing. The more women that are involved, the more women will see that it's like less of a boys' club, and it'll be less inclined to like steer away from it because of that, I think.
And maybe the more women that are involved, it will attract more men to become involved because there are women involved.
Yeah, it's going to grow the community in general.
That's
I think
typically how it works. It's like exponential. So dudes start it, or females start it, and then dudes are like, "Whoa, females do that," and then they go. I don't know. It's all like a.
Actually, as well, I'd say it would benefit the diversity of like the content and that sort of thing, because they might have a completely different take on, like, they're not going to be as competitive for the same reasons as guys might be. They might be interested in doing it in different ways or something like that. So
I could see that.
Yeah,
it probably.
There's a lot of benefits that are probably people haven't really thought about. I think the main reason that people like have it in their heads they want to have more women involved is that they just want, more, they want it to be more equal and that sort of thing. But that doesn't actually mean anything. The real benefits are going to be getting different perspectives and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What's
this
the
guy?
question?
That guy donated $100.
What?
That's fucking intense, man. Jim, thank you. Just finished up my Steele Alien last weekend, maiden today with your PIDs. Flew like a dream. Thanks for that. Only missing ability to change the VTX settings through the OSD whilst keeping the mic. You can do that. However, it beeps in your ear if you're using a TBS Unify.
There is a way of doing it. You can put a capacitor somewhere along the wiring system. I don't know anything about it. I just know that it can be done. So look up.
Yeah. No, I hooked it up early, but it has smart audio. So when the quad is not armed, it goes dee 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 dee, and it sounds like someone's sending an SOS signal in your ear. And as soon as you arm the quad, it dee 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 dee, and then it stops while you're flying. But as soon as you disarm it, dee 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 dee, and it freaks out until you turn the quad off or rearm. So I thought that was really annoying, and I don't change channels enough. And the way that I set up my video transmitter, it's actually just as easy to pull the video transmitter out the side and change the channels. I happen to know all of the channels and all of the bands on the Unify just because I've dealt with it so much. So I can just go, oh, I want to go to this, bloop, 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 and change it really quickly. Typically, I only go on Race Band and Fat Shark channels or bands, and I only change between like 1, 3, 6, and 8. So I really appreciate the donation, and thank you for supporting. I hope the quad flies really well. I know mine do. So go ahead.
Just picking through.
Mate, what's Mark Evans have to say? Snake. Snack
you,
FPV.
you can do it in your. You got to do this in your Australian
Righto,
accent.
mate.
Really.
Snake Evans, right? Snake, what are your thoughts on the Wallabies finally breaking their losing streaks against the all-black Dingo Stole Me Baby?
I don't know anything about rugby. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Mate,
But that's just a hilarious comment.
Dingo Stole Me
Dingo
Baby.
stole me baby.
Righto, mate. Right, so I'm going to just go with Dingo Stole Me Baby. I don't know if that's the answer to that question, but right. If you're curious about my last name, it's pronounced Landrino. Cole Landrino.
Landrino. Well, there you go.
See,
Thanks for.
whose video do you watch the most on YouTube? Get some inspiration
That's a good
from.
question.
That is a good question. PewDiePie, bitch. What's yours?
I think he's referring to FPV.
Oh, PewDiePie, bitch. No, FPV. I don't watch FPV videos, honestly. I watch a lot of my own videos because I get psyched on certain songs. But and I also think that if you're not psyched on your own content, then you shouldn't be making it.
Yeah.
So if I'm still psyched on content that I've already created, then I'm psyched to make new content. But if I had to pick a pilot that I watched regularly, it would probably be Willard, just because he's in your face all the time and loud, and I like it. And then pilots, I kind of bounce between like friends, so I'll watch Kevin's, I'll watch Snake's, I'll watch Eric's, I'll watch even Ruben's videos sometimes. So it's like, I don't know, you're keeping up with your friends and making sure seeing what they're doing, but there aren't really too many pilots out there that I'm like, yeah, I want to go watch that guy's video, just because. I don't know. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I don't have time to sit down and watch flight videos anymore. I watch John's videos, but mainly because I think it's funny about all his B-roll stuff that he's been doing recently. But
Yeah. I think watch it like in the beginning. I used to watch a lot more FPV videos than I do now. I think the way it goes is that whether you do it intentionally or not, you end up wanting to watch videos. If it's from a pilot's perspective, a pilot that you see as being significantly better than what you are, but a similar style to what you do.
Yep.
And I think both of us are at the point now where there isn't really anybody that I'd consider to be hugely better at my style of flying. And it's really just about like maybe Ethan is probably the only person I still think is like significantly a cut above. But yeah, the rest of it now is just about watching people for their their personality or watching friends' videos to sort of see where everyone's at and what they've been up to.
Yeah. Is Casey Neistat considered a pilot?
Yeah, bro, that rips.
I love Casey's fucking videos. I love them. They're not all of them, but 90% I would say, probably not that much. 80% of them are really good. PewDiePie, solid content, and that's pretty much all I watch these days, if I watch anything at all.
Sam Cooper asks, "What is the song from my favorite flight video?" Is that this video you put up recently?
It's in the description, or if it's
is
not.
Is that the one that you like changed the song?
No.
No.
I did change the song a bunch, but it wasn't. No one knew about it. I put a song up and then I took it down because it was copywritten, and then I put it up again.
Okay.
So
yeah, the video should have the song written.
Have the song in the description. If it's not in the description, it's definitely in the comments section because people freaking stalk the crap out of some of the music that I put up.
Yeah.
Because I go through a lot to find that music, and then when I find it, I'm like, and I try to give credit as much as I can. But sometimes I just get lazy and I want to post a video and I don't have the extra 25 seconds to go copy and paste the artist's links. I don't know. I think it's actually more fun when people have to search for it because it gives them more of an appreciation of how hard it was for me to find. But I don't know, maybe not. Who cares? Maybe they just want everything handed to them on a golden platter. 4-inch body on the Alien, nope. Because for me, I can't do that without having props in shot because I don't run a 50-degree. What do you run? 35, 40 degree?
I run 30 degrees with a stupidly wide 1.8 lens on an Alien 4.5.
No, on the GoPro, what do you run?
30 degrees.
Well, I think mine's 25.
I can't see props at all. In my video.
I think mine are 25. Any more? Any more?
Steele, are you working with REI? Obviously, you climb. Anything? What about mountain? Do you ride mountain bikes? That's my main sport. I also work.
Ladrino.
Yeah, Cole Landrino.
Landrino.
Are you doing anything with REI?
I am not doing anything with REI. I worked at REI at one point in time. It was very corporate. I wasn't a fan of working there. I do really like some of their gear, but the one piece of gear that stood out beyond all pieces of gear ever is the REI Trail 25, which you still need to get one before you leave.
Do I?
You want one? You said you wanted one, didn't you?
No, I wanted the
bag.
The wifey
No,
bag.
you definitely need a REI Trail 25. They're like $65. It's the best bag ever.
I don't know. I think my military spec bag's
your
pretty
bag's
good.
shit. Good shit. Get out of here, guy.
Cole.
Triz, your Gowie strap. You got 2 coming in the mail. I just sent them normal mail. They'll be there in a couple days. Don't kill me.
Bruh, you could have just given to me. Anyway.
Mate, well, they should be
Actually,
there before you
it's
get
going
home.
to take me about a week to get home from
Yeah.
here. So, Gary Wisecup, are you going to bring a wing when you go in the van?
I will be bringing a wing when I go in the van.
Sweet.
100%.
He's got some epic sweep wings.
Who's this kind?
Up. What?
I don't know. I just had to block somebody because he was being a douchebag.
Is that the bloke
That was the bloke that
Yeah.
donated like $150 to promote his channel. Sorry. Feel me.
No self-promotion, bruh.
Anyways.
No,
Let's-
that's not a question.
It's possible to buy those Gowie straps. I'm working on making those Gowie straps and selling them on the TBS website. So be look on the lookout for that. They won't be Gowie straps, but they are exactly. Look at this guy. I wish I cared.
What was this guy?
That's the dude that
Mr.
posted that
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
What's the crack-lagging, booty-smagging? Dang. What are we spending money on?
What?
Oh, the $10 hairs, Mr. Jones.
Ah.
Woo! We're going to the pub.
What else have we got? I think we finished all the questions on the Facebook.
Yeah, no,
So.
I think we're good. It's been a hot minute. My questionnaire is emptied out. I got no more. Anybody else? This chat's kind of slowed down. There's only 4. Come on, 2 people need to leave so we can have 420 people watching. How much does my current build cost? It costs about $615 total. So I don't know. It's fairly expensive, but it's not like crazy considering what you're getting. It's a formula that's been proven for the last 3 years. So it's like buying a Michael Jordan shoe or some shit. I don't know. Not saying I'm Michael Jordan. I'm just laying that down. This is a shoe versus this is a quad that I've been flying for 3 years. I know every in and out of it, and I use it for a specific reason. So if you want to use it for flying freestyle and you want to carry a GoPro, then that is probably a quad that you would like. And what else? Dallas. Dang, it's speeding up now. Onigiri, let me know when you're in town. Oh my god. 32-bit ESCs are just hype. 32-bit ESCs have been around for a long time.
Yeah,
24,
Kiss made them like a
Kiss
year and
24
a half
amps,
ago.
Just now, beta flight stuff is catching up. Kiss posts more Atlanta flight videos. I'm gonna try. You want downtown flight videos? Or oh snap! Oi fucking sight cunts! Steele, are you and Kevin ever going to come to Australia ever? And
Are
snake
you
you?
cunts ever coming to Australia?
Use cunts, mate. Yes, I am coming to Australia. There was
What?
talk,
Whoa, hang on. That's a big call. When are you actually? You don't have plans,
mate. I have plans to go everywhere.
mate. Bring your van over.
Bring it
I'm
over,
fine.
just fucking full throttle it off the coast of San Diego. Mate.
Just Top Gear style amphibious that shit. Fucking drive it over.
Mate, I'm in the middle of the Pacific. I'll be there in 3 weeks. I'm out of gas. So, what is ibis?
It's Webby's favourite bird. He loves ibises.
Nice.
He's got an ibis farm.
Ibis farm, mate.
Loves those
All
guns.
right, yeah.
iFlight. What is the
Controller
craziest
with
thing
best
you've
setting?
ripped with Snake?
I don't know. What's the craziest thing we've flown?
Oh, that building dive. What's the building?
The Bank of
I did
America
today,
building?
but you didn't fly.
The Bank of America building. Well, I was there. We pulled off on the side
This
of the road.
building.
That one.
I saw that exact view
He done
in my
dodged that,
FPV feed
mate.
today.
That was
Right
pretty
out.
cool. Flying the Blue Ridge Parkway was not terribly
Dang, Herbie's fucking
exciting, but it was cool. Filming the
Carla
car.
Willis. That fox, though, look at that thing. It's crying. Why are you crying? Why is your fox crying? Webb. That bin of chickens.
It's fucking bin chickens.
Fucking chickens, mate. It's fucking cunts. What? Battery straps? Currently, I use the Pyro Flip ones because I have 1,000 of them, and I'm just using them up. They work really well. They don't break, but the Velcro wears out after about 20, maybe about 50 to 100 battery cycle changes, depending on how dirty your quad is. So Velcro is not the best. So I don't know, but since I have 1,000 of them, I just use them, the small ones.
J-Rock FPV said do a sub bomb for Web FPV. So everyone go and subscribe to J-Rock FPV. J-Rock FPV.
What's J-Rock?
It's just one of my mates from Melbourne.
Oh,
He told me to sub bomb someone else, so
Mate.
we'll fucking sub bomb him. Webb's got enough subscribers. That guy doesn't even he doesn't post
go
enough.
to New Zealand, get iForced JXJet to pull something out amazing. Yeah. Dang. I really want to hang out with Bruce, but holy shit, New Zealand's far away.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's pretty much where I live.
It's pretty much amazing.
Pretty much Australia. Well, if you're going to come to Australia, you have to go to New Zealand. You can't fly all
I
that way
agree.
and not.
I agree. I might as well just go to Ayers Rock as well.
It's- you know that's in
right
Australia.
in the middle. Yeah. I know, mate.
We'll
I
try.
know my Australian geology, all of that.
Have a cry, Webby. I think enough people have been commenting on your channel.
Mate,
They'll start subscribing. Don't worry about it, mate. You'll be right.
fuck Casa.
That 12 Apostles video was pretty epic, though. How good is that fucking dive down from the clouds? In Web's
Mate,
video.
that's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
do you like the 10XS? I will not be switching to it permanently at all. I like it a lot, but it's too big and heavy. And
It's the wrong shape for pinching. The end. Doesn't matter about anything else.
and the gimbals, I don't like metal on metal. I don't like it, mate. Dude, this is the longest vlog stream ever, mate.
Are we done?
I think we need to go for 1 minute and 40 seconds more. Any last questions for 1 minute and 40 seconds so we can hit an hour and a half?
Everyone keeps asking about what you think
Shayna.
of Bot Grinder.
She and I broke up a year ago, and we don't talk anymore. Quit asking, please. What happened to Bot Grinder?
Yeah, people want to know what you think of Bot Grinder. I don't know anything about him,
I
so if
don't-
you're asking me, I have no opinion.
I don't really have an opinion other than we met and we hung out, and he seemed like a cool dude. Seemed like someone that I wouldn't typically hang out with just because, I don't know, I don't typically walk up to people with nose rings and a bunch of tattoos, but I don't know, I don't have a problem with the dude. I'm not going to say that he's like the best pilot in the world, but I don't think that really matters these days, or does it? I don't know. Depends who you ask. Oh my god, Mavic Platinum gonna upgrade? Probably not.
Platinum.
It's got new ESCs, it flies for 30 minutes, and has different propellers that are quieter. Oh snap! What does this guy say? Kirk, what you got? What happened? You just donated money. Didn't ask a question. Okay, thank you. Do I smoke weed? No. Want to see more of the van. The van will be coming out soon. Sub bomb. Dang. All Lives Matter shirts. I only have like 3 or 4 smalls left. If you guys want them, you can.
Did they not all sell?
They're all gone.
Oh.
Except for the smalls. No one wears small. Everyone's not small except for me. Yeah. The stupid questions are fun, man. I'll just be in bed tonight, pissed because of the stupid questions. No, I'm kidding. All right. Yep. We're good. We are good. I'll answer.
Go subscribe to my channel. There's about 1 billion videos coming in the next couple of weeks when I finally get home to edit them.
Many new girls. Yes. Yeah. Go sub to his channel, Snake FPV. I will be posting videos hopefully soon. I'll be in Korea on the 26th of October until the 30th at this drone international thing, commentating on the race, and also flying a demo for freestyle, and also giving a speech at some point. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. Never been to Korea before. Probably gonna go not to the 49th parallel and fly over it at Mach 3 and try to dodge missiles and bullets and things for 2 minutes, and then just crash land onto a landmine and destroy all evidence. I didn't say that happened. Didn't say it was going to happen.
It's not going to.
But if I see a gong, and I'm gonna ram it. Okay. James Bond gonna ram the gong. Dude's gonna fall in the ocean or whatever the fuck that was, river. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nope.
It's from a Bond movie. Someone's seen it. It's called Tomorrow Never Dies or something like that, or The World's Not Enough. I don't know. Anyways, it's tired. I'm late. Yes, all of those. I'll talk to you guys later. I don't know how to end this. This is not gonna happen.
All right. Later, guys. Thanks for watching.
Mate.